Hey guys, how are you doing? Today in this video we are going to talk about monoclonal antibodies. For the past few years, many of you must have come across this issue monoclonal antibodies in your newspaper headlines or in science and tech part. It might sound a bit technical, but it is very simple. And to your surprise, UPSC has asked this year, this question about monoclonal antibodies. Let's first go through the question and then we begin our discussion. This is the question with reference to monoclonal antibodies often mentioned in news. Consider the following statement. How many of you have attempted this question? They are man-made proteins. There is the word protein. They stimulate immunological function due to their ability to bind the specific antigen. And the third statement, they are used in treating viral infection like that Nipah virus. So before solving this question, let's get into the details of this topic. Okay. So what exactly monoclonal antibodies? So this word is made up of two words actually. Mono means single, क्लोनल मीन एग्जैक्ट कॉपी है ना. क्लोनल का मतलब क्या होता है? इट मीन सिंपली एग्जैक्ट कॉपी. सो एंटीबॉडीज आर, they are proteins. Essentially they are proteins which fight against, you can say, which fight against which fight against antigens. There is another word, antigens. Those who are not from science background, guys, if you don't know about antigens, antigens are something, a foreign material which invade your body. Foreign material. What is antigen? It is a foreign material which prompt immunological response. Immunological response. Immunological response. What is immunological response? Immune system will, it will activate its, defense system. It will produce B cells. There are B cells actually. What are B cells? They are lymphocytes. They are lymphocytes. तो अगर आप लोगों को पता हो, how many of you know about lymphocytes? Lymphocytes are WBC. They are part of WBC. It's a basic science part. All right. So WBC, they make up the defense system for the body. And in WBC, अगर मैं आपको WBC का बेसिक फंडा बताऊं तो WBC में 5 टाइप की सेल्स होती है. One is called, they are granulocytes. One division is granulocytes. They are granular like structures. And others are agranulocytes. Others are agranulocytes. Agranulocytes. Granulocytes are of 3 types. They produce different sort of, defense system like neutrophils. Neutrophils, आप लोगों ने अपनी कभी या किसी की भी ब्लड की जो हमारी रिपोर्ट्स होती है उसमें देखा होगा न्यूट्रोफिल्स. दे फाइट अगेंस्ट इन्फेक्शन है ना. देन अदर टाइप्स आर कॉल्ड eosinophils. Okay, and eosinophils are basically detoxification. And there are basophils. They act particularly against allergies. Then there are agranulocytes. There are 2 types. One is called a lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are very active in playing role in immunological responses. And there are monocytes. Monocytes are highly motile and highly phagocytic. Phagocytic in a sense they eat, antigens simply, right? So दिस इज इन न्यूज. सीधा अगर हम क्वेश्चन की टर्म में बात करें, मोनोक्लोनल एंटीबॉडीज को शॉर्ट में लिखते हैं MABS और समटाइम्स इट इज रिटन एज MOABS. ओके, simply speaking, they are laboratory made proteins. What are proteins? Proteins are basically, they play very important role in body, and the central dogma of life, which the term which Crick coined. DNA goes to RNA. DNA has encoded genetic information. It goes to RNA called transcription, and then RNA goes to proteins. Proteins are basically structural protein, functional proteins. So these are proteins basically. Which one? Antibodies. Okay. So MAB as laboratory made. They are laboratory made proteins. These proteins are laboratory made proteins. Okay. What they do? They mimic the behavior of antibodies. They mimic what they do? They mimic behavior of antibodies. Behavior of antibodies. I think your first statement is correct. If you go through your question, this statement is correct. They are man-made proteins, right? They are man-made proteins. So they mimic the behavior of antibodies. Antibodies, what they do? They attaches to, once again, Again, repeating what they do. Mimic behavior simply mean they will attach to antigen and destroy it. Antigen and destroy. Okay, they will do that. Okay, so suppose now in this picture, this is antigen. There will be some antibody will be produced by the body, or maybe it is laboratory made as we are discussing, and this will destroy this antigen. This is what the basic functioning, right? Okay, so this first part is clear. Let's talk about how do monoclonal antibodies work. Monoclonal antibodies are isolated from healthy person with the exposure to Hendra. This was in news, Hendra and Nipah virus basically, let me tell you. And this is also the part of your question. This is Hendra and Nipah virus. Nipah virus cases are coming, where? In Kerala, in India, you must have heard of this in your newspaper. You must have come across this thing, right? So what is common thing about these viruses? Hendra viruses both are zoonotic. Both causes zoonotic diseases. Zoonotic diseases simply mean they are transmitted from animals to human. This part is clear, I guess, right? Okay, they are both RNA viruses. Viruses have either RNA or DNA as a genetic material. They don't have both DNA and RNA together, alright? So RNA viruses. RNA biology has evolved over a period of time. Okay, both are of the same genus. We don't need to discuss that for GS portion. They are RNA containing viruses. Bats are there. Bats, fruit bats, chamgadar, fruit bats. Fruit bats are their natural reservoir, natural host. They are their natural host or reservoir, or reservoir, natural host or reservoir. Okay. Third is their transmission dynamics and disease manifestations are very same. Transmission, their transmission and disease manifestation. Disease manifestation is very much closer, manifestation, disease manifestation. What they do actually, they causes, if I were to write something more about them, what they causes respiratory illness, causes respiratory illness. They causes respiratory illness, and apart from that, there are neurological issues also. Neurological issues when disease progresses, and neurological issues what it has, encephalitis simply means inflammation of brain. Okay, inflammation of brain, inflammation of brain, or CNS, particularly brain and spinal cord, and together brain and spinal cord is called central nervous system. So this disease is related to central nervous system infection. I guess you understand. Okay, so what is done actually? Suppose a person is infected with these viruses, or some kind of exposure is there to a person, then antibodies is isolated. What is done? What is done actually? So antibodies are isolated. Antibodies are isolated, and it is cloned, right? So Hendra receptor binding, suppose Hendra receptor or Nipah virus infection is there. So antibodies will be isolated from plasma cells, from plasma, and B cells are also circulating in plasma, right? In previous, this lymphocytes are basically many types. For example, T lymphocytes are helper. B lymphocytes are there. B lymphocytes, what they do actually, they make antibodies, right? So B lymphocytes are also found in WBC. It is also found in blood plasma, and in from blood plasma it is isolated. And what is done now? Okay, so from here, monoclonal antibodies are prepared. Monoclonal antibodies are prepared. So we not getting into too many details. Monoclonal antibodies are prepared. This is how it is. Okay, right? So your question has, this question has been asked, in your question. They are used in treating viral infections like that of Nipah virus. Yes, because it was in news also, and this is why UPSC asked this question. So this is correct. Second is also correct. Let's talk about 1 and 3. If there is no option, there is option 1 and 3. One हमको चाहिए तो ये ऑप्शन आ नहीं सकता. Let's talk about they stimulate immunological function due to their ability to bind specific antigens or not. Yes, it has to do specific target antigens only. So this statement, let's check this statement. And before checking this statement, let's go to the another discussion. What is personalized therapy? Precision medicines. It involves tailoring healthcare and individual specific characteristics such as genetics, environment, and lifestyle. This approach aims to optimize treatment outcomes, reduce adverse effect, and improve the overall quality of the life for the patient. And MOBABs are monoclonal antibodies, or simply monoclonal antibodies, MABs. They are example of personalized therapeutics. They are, it is example of personalized therapeutics. Personalized therapeutics. Okay. So if your spelling is not correct, from if you can't see, okay, so I am writing it again. Therapeutics, okay. Personalized therapeutics. Okay. So this is the marvel of biochemistry. Personalized precision medicine. So this is a marvel of biochemistry. This is marvel of biochemistry. Biochemistry, then molecular biology, and immunology, basically immunology. So if they are asking about this question, so do they, this is correct, this is also correct. They stimulate immunological function. Yes, it is correct, because these antibodies, they mimic, I have already told you, monoclonal, okay, monoclonal, MABs. What they do actually, they mimic behavior of antibodies. Mimic behavior of antibodies simply means they will stimulate immunological response, and body is going to produce antibody, and it is going to get attached to the foreign material or antigen and destroy it. So option A, B, C, D, all three are correct. Okay. So let's quickly discuss about this, marvel of biochemistry, molecular biology. For example, one has breast cancer, for example of these medicine. For example, there is breast cancer. Okay. So there are some hormone receptors. It can be targeted. MABs can target these particular cells, can target and provide, what it can do, it can provide tailored therapy, right? Tailored therapy, person to person therapy, right? So this is correct. Okay, it can specific. For example, autoimmune diseases. In autoimmune diseases are those diseases in which our immune system get confused and it starts killing our healthy cells. Okay. For example, MABs, monoclonal antibodies can suppress, what they can do, they can suppress, for example, you must be knowing about rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis. This is supposed to be arthritis. Arthritis is joint pain, basically, severe joint pain. This is supposed to be autoimmune disease. I mean, there are evidences that autoimmune system causes this kind of problem, right? Inflammation, joint pain. So this has what? Severe joint pains, inflammation, swelling, prolonged swelling, rheumatoid arthritis. Another aspect can be in autoimmune disease, for example, thyroid. For example, multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis, a very serious problem. In multiple sclerosis, our immune system, our immune system, what it does, actually it demyelination of neurons. So neurons have insulating layer, you can say, which is called myelin sheath. Myelin sheath is very, very important, but when our immune system get confused and it destroyed this myelin sheath, this is called multiple sclerosis, which is a very serious problem, right? Another one, last example, there are many examples. For example, inflammatory, you must be knowing about this. This is also in news many times. Inflammatory bowel syndrome. Inflammatory bowel syndrome is, it is characterized by inflammation of GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Inflammation of GIT, gastrointestinal tract. Okay, it can be of two types. For example, if you must know, if you must have heard about this, Crohn's disease. One is called Crohn's disease. It can infect any part of GIT, any part of gastrointestinal tract, any part of GIT, gastrointestinal tract. And other is called basically ulcerative colitis. It has to do with colon, है ना? Okay, so there is inflammation of colon, right? Quickly now discuss about what is the future trends in monoclonal antibodies. Future trends, for example, how future is going to unfold. So there are advanced antibodies emerging, advanced antibodies are emerging, advanced antibodies, So, for example, there are monoclonal, polyclonal, right? More efficacy, more, more efficacy, They are modified also. Right? It can be used to combined with. They combined with other therapies. Monoclonal antibody therapy can be combined with other therapies, right? So other therapies, for example, if one has cancer, then it can be combined with chemotherapy. It can be combined with chemotherapy. It can be combined with some kind of immunotherapy. Immunotherapy, right? Then personalized, you know, as we were talking about personal medicines, precision medicines, for example, so they can be tailored for personalized, right? Personalized diagnostics. Personalized diagnostics. So this is the future of monoclonal antibodies. Early detection, right? And early detection, and therefore early, for example, early detection of disease, their manifestation and early intervention, right? Manifestation and therefore early, intervention, early intervention. That is, sometimes it is characteristic of, developed countries. There is, if there is any problem going on, it get early detected, early manifestations are seen, and early intervention, medical intervention, right? Data driven approach also, we can include machine learning here. Data driven, so if I am ill, I have my data driven approach. Data driven approach will do what? Data driven approach is going to use machine learning, and it can use machine learning to predict, right? To analyze patient data, analyze patient's data and predict best possible treatment, best possible treatment. This is the future possible treatment. So, not, keeping this video too long, we are winding up this video. So I think you must have understood what we have discussed today. So antibodies, monoclonal antibodies, they asked this question and the answer was all of these three statements were correct, right? So monoclonal antibodies, in nutshell, they are laboratory made proteins which mimic behavior of antibodies. So we wind up this class today here. Thank you so very much. So if you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to share with friends. We'll come up with another video. Thank you so very much. Till then, goodbye.